So my name is Mitchell, or Royce. I go by online. I recently won my store championship with my Minervamon deck, so I was going to go over that, and then it looked like Latin America ended up having some of their events, and there was a 7th place Minervamon, and there was a 15th place Minervamon, and I was going to show you kind of the differences between theirs and mine. First, babies, we all start off with Demimira. Best Gabu for loop is going to be your good old draw to just trash one. So typically you're going to get your Gabu and you're going to try to put an Eismon on it. I ran 2 Gazi. This is kind of for the Alphamons or just times that people are going to use memory boosts. And 3 Psychemon. Psychemon was imperative. It's really good into your crossheart matchup. At the end, after I go through the video, the different deck lists, I'm going to kind of go over how to play the Crosshearts matchup, which is super easy with this deck. If you get the right cards, you just stomp them into the ground. It's unreal. I run 1 Elecmon. He's kind of one of my deletion supports. And then, of course, I run the full Eismon package. I run 2 of the blocker Demimons. Easy 1 cost Evo to go to 4, then go to 5. And then really good trash, so you can bring him back with Minerva. I've run the full WereWolf package, Cerberus and the WereWolf mode, 4 of each. I debate if I would go to 3, but I really do like seeing all of them all the time. But sometimes it can get a little bricky, so those would be something I could consider cutting overall. Just one a piece. But I really do like it at 4 right now. I run 1 of the Lucamon Chaos modes. Really good card to have. Delete your level 6s, deletes Tamers. Easy to get out. Late game, you can get them out of your hand for relatively cheap, or you can dead or alive him, or you can even get him out with Minervamon. We'll go over her last here for my Digimon. Mastamon. Big Mastamon fan overall, and this one is kind of a finisher. Let's say you don't have enough dogs to keep on swinging, or you're worried about that last swing, or you only have enough memory. You go ahead, Digivolve, bring back Ginkaku Promote. So a lot of times if I have like 4 memory, and I'm running out of options of how to get my last swing in, well, my last 2 swings, so I'll take her out, delete their last bit of security, delete my security, bring out Ginkaku Promote, swing for game. As long as they don't have a blocker, it's a free time. So Lilithmon, to get back some of my options, I usually pick out a Revive from Darkness and a Jack Raid. The Jack Raid, by the time you get to her, it should be a +1. You should have at least 20 in trash by the time you get to her. And if you have 20 in trash and you Jack Raid, you'll get a +1 from whenever you Digivolve her from. And then the Revive from Darkness, if you got a +1 and it's still your turn, that means that you have at least 4 memory, which means you can go into your Revive from Darkness and do another loop. Calling from Darkness, I'm only running 1. I have a lot of 1-ofs in this deck. Like the deck's Death Xmon. Great card, I'm running 1 of it. I've Digivolved him quite a couple times. I've hard played him. He's a great card. Calling from Darkness, great card. I would almost want to run it at 2, but I only run it at 1. And you know, if you pick up other Minervamons, then make sure you don't pick up the one that you just deleted, because then you don't get your own deletions. Pandemonium Flame, so this is to delete my higher, like, level 6s. I can delete my Minervamon, delete their level 6, and I get to bring back a level 5, so it works really nice. And security, it deletes 1 unsuspended Digimon, so if they unsuspend while attacking, this can actually delete them. But if it's at the end of attack, it does not. I run 1 purple memory boost, kind of a searcher, kind of gives me that boost for that 2 memory. I've been finding it pretty useful. It's a good digging tool for me. 1 Deathclaw. You have to run at least 1, if not 2. Get rid of the different different floodgates. Between that, Elecmon, and then the Pandemonium Flame is how I get rid of the floodgates. So, you know, getting rid of their Gazis or their memory chokers. Or, as Green likes to run the Polu and prevents you from getting Digimon out by effect. But sometimes you can just work around that and it doesn't really matter as much. I run one mat. It's a memory tamer and it gets me back a Digimon or an option card. Sometimes it comes out way too early and it hurts. Other times I play it out and get exactly back what I want. I usually get, you know, either you get back a Jack Raid or you get back a Revive. Revives are probably where you're mostly going to get it. Sometimes I'll use Calling and get back Eismon so I can discard it again. I run 2 Analog Youth. It really helps with the combo. It lets you hatch an egg, get some more draw power, get some more cycling, get some in the trash. Sometimes it gets rid of too many options, though. I've been running it at 2, and I really like it at 2. 3, I really don't get the full usage. I don't have 3 of them out on the field at all times, but it's just me. Back for Revenge is my favorite tech card. Favorite tech card. The only problem is it does not have a security effect, but you go ahead, you back for Revenge. I like to, if I have enough memory, if I have 5 memory, which you should have after your final loop, or your first loop, right? Your first loop, you should have at least 5 memory. You back for Revenge the werewolf mode, right? And you go ahead and swing into security. At worst, your werewolf mode dies and comes back, and then you can swing him again. At best, he survives. You swing him, he survives, you digivolve him to a Minerva, and then after you digivolve him into a Minervamon, you go ahead and you revive from darkness, and because you get to choose the order of effects, besides that you revive first, you go for the revive, you bring back your Cerberus, and then Minervamon's on deletion works, and she brings back her level 5, and then the back for Revenge works, and you get to play out Minerva. So now you go +5, and now you have a werewolf and a Minerva out on the field, and you're golden set, man. It is such a nice combo. Alright, but that's how I play it. I absolutely love the list. I would consider changing out Mastamon for Creepymon. It does help. Creepymon does help out with the Jessmon matchup. So, I mean, that helps out. But most of the time I'm able to beat Jessmon without it. So, really just matters how fast it is. So, we're going to move on. This is going to be our 7th place one. And he's practically running the same list. He's not running the cool back for Revenge. He is running that Creepymon, which I'm assuming is help for the Jessmon. It can also help with the Cross Hearts if they spam out. He's also running 4 Psychemon because he doesn't have an Electamon. He's running another Devimon, so he has 3 of those, so he has those cheaper Evos to get up. He's running 2 Death X. He's running 2 Death Claws. He's also only running 1 Calling from the Darkness. The Revives, the 3 Jack Raid, 4 Revives, I think is the best. He's running 3 of the Analog Youth, so this is also a really nice list. I enjoy my one-ofs like a true purple player. You gotta have like 1,000 one-ofs. He also dropped that purple memory boost there. So he dropped Back Revenge, purple memory boost. He changed this disco there. He dropped that so he could have another Psych, which he also dropped the Genkaku Promote. I really do like the Genkaku Promote just so you can have the Eismon swing for game. But that's just me. This is a very consistent deck from what I can see. And he has 2 Death X Mons. They come super handy. If you can play 1, you can probably play 2. Alright, this is the 15th place one. This one goes all the way up to the Omnizorts. He's not playing the Creepymon, he's also playing the Mastamon. He's playing 2 of the Promotes. He's playing a Gaiomon. And he's playing 3 Devimon, so he's playing a lot more level 4s. He does keep his rookie lineup a little bit shorter at the 8 total. No, I can't count. 9. He's keeping it at the 9 total, which is okay. I really like the 10, and I really like having that extra deletion. He's also running the win rate, which allows you to get into the Omnizorts cheaper. It could even get you into the Minervamon cheaper. He's only running 2 Jack Raids, which kind of scares me sometimes. I accidentally get them discarded all the time off the Analog Youth. Like, I had, or even my Purple Memory Boost, I had 1 Jack Raid in hand at the start, and then I discarded, then I played down an Analog Youth, discarded 1 Jack Raid, and then I hit the other Jack Raid with Purple Memory Boost, which went to the bottom of the deck, and I was like, oh crap, I got these 2, so I'm gonna have to make it work. On the Omnizorts, I really feel it's kind of expensive, and I don't feel like I like what I get out of it. So Omnizorts, you get to play 2 purple-black Digimon that have a play cost of 8 or less, which doesn't mean you get to play your werewolves. You get to play your Cerberus, but you don't get to play your werewolves. And that's pretty much how your combo goes. So you don't get to play the werewolf, and you can play your blocker Devi. So like you're pretty much, or you can play your Kintaku promotes, but that's if you keep it on turn that you want to do the Kintaku promotes. If you're not keeping it on turn, playing out a Cerberus and a blocker Devi is probably your best choice. But it's 8 cost or less, so it kind of really hurts. The win rate makes it a lot cheaper, but it's still going to cost 4 overall, which if you're looping right, you should be able to get easily to that memory up to that memory and be able to do it. So you'll save by 4, so that will take it down, and so it'll cost 4 in total. Which could be, so pretty much that's kind of what Mastamon does already with the Genkaku promote, so it's arguable there. You can also use win rate for the Mastamon, which is also nice. He's running a 3 Analog Youth and no mat, no memory at all. So he's kind of just he's just living it on the edge with no memory. He's dependent on the loop. So that's it for like the deck profiles. I was gonna go over a couple of the cool combos that I tend to do and show you kind of how it goes on the mat. We'll go ahead and we will turn this on. Nope. And turn this off. Okay. So, overall, you got your demis, whatever. So, your typical combo, you always want to have preferably the werewolf mode or the Cerberus in trash. You need one of them, but you really want werewolf in trash. So the reasons you want a werewolf in trash, if your main combo is you're gonna play out werewolf, you're gonna draw your 2, and then you're gonna trash your 1, right? And if you have a stack on Cerberus, you get to hit your Analog Youth, gain 1 memory, and then go ahead and go through and hatch an egg, and you get some extra draw. So that's what the Analog Youth is there for, is to gain you memory and to get you an egg, because pretty much getting that extra draw can really help out, especially with hand size. So you really want one of these 2, but you want the werewolf mode in trash. And if you could have a werewolf in hand as well, that's super nice. So like, ideally, you want a werewolf there in trash, you want a werewolf on the board, or no, Cerberus on the board, and then you want a werewolf in hand. I always like to keep an extra werewolf in hand, so that way if I get back to where I get another Cerberusmon, I can go ahead and towards the end of my loop, I can pretty much, if I'm running out of my revives, as long as I have 6 memory, I can hard play a Cerberus, go to go to 0, play werewolf, swing for game. I end a lot of games like that. That tends to be how the game likes to end. But Dead or Alive, not only can you bring back your Lucamon, but Dead or Alive is a positive gain. If you Dead or Alive, bring back a Cerberus werewolf, you gain 1 memory in that transaction. This is really important for if you're really kind of short on memory, then it's going to help out quite a bit. And besides for that 1 discard, you can always discard the Gaiomon. And so once you get 2 bodies on the field, once you're looping, you're pretty much golden as long as you can have another revive. Or you can end up digivolving on top of your Gaiomon. So that really helps to get that extra body out. Ideally, for your loop situation, you want 2 bodies on the board. 2 bodies really helps. And once you get up enough memory, you can start doing, you know, some fun, funky stuff to really help you out. Like, you can bring back 2 of the Cerberus Mons, bring back a werewolf, swing with the werewolf, because eventually, at some point, you actually might lose your werewolf, and you want to be at a point where if you did lose your werewolf, you can just go back up. Okay? So pretty much the combo that you're going to do ends up being, you have your Minervamon, you swing with werewolf, it survives, you digivolve into Minerva, let's say you go down to 0. You play Revive from Darkness, Revive costs 4, you go 4. You always bring back Cerberusmon first. So Revive does not activate any on play. So you go, I revive Cerberusmon. Minervamon goes to trash. Minervamon on deletion. I bring back werewolf mode. I gain 9 memory. I go to 5. I do my good old draw and trash. So you can draw your 2, and then you trash your 1. If you trash your Gaiomon, then you're pretty much golden. And then you can digivolve here for 1 and swing. That's kind of one of the reasons Ginkaku promote. So if you're saving the Gaiomon, you want to try to keep the Ginkaku promote in hand. But if you were planning to Mastamon finish, then you put them in the trash, which you should have enough time. You have enough Cerberusmons that you can pretty much decide when you want to get rid of them. Sometimes your hand's super good and you have a hard time deciding what you need to get out. A werewolf mode in trash is always valuable, so if you have to put 1 down, as long as you have the other one, unless so like sometimes when you're playing red and they have Crimson Blaze, you might digivolve into Cerberusmon werewolf mode so they can't Crimson Blaze you as well. So that's also a possibility. You got to kind of plan ahead for this deck quite a bit. I really do love, so like with the 5 memory, after 1 loop, right? I really love going back for revenge, swinging. So swinging, it survives. Now you got 3. Then you go ahead, digivolve for 3, go down to 0. You draw 3 Digi-Evolution, of course. And then if you're going to use your Revive from Darkness, which is 4 now, you go to 4. You go ahead, you resolve your Revive first, bring back Cerberus, you resolve Minerva, you bring back him, go to 5. Now you resolve the back for revenge. And now you have a Minerva on the field. So now you actually don't even need this werewolf mode to survive, and you don't need a digivolve either. So you can cheat out. So you cheat out 1 single memory from Back for Revenge if you can get it, and it's super nice. So now I can swing this werewolf. If it doesn't die, cool. If it does die, then I already have a Minerva on the field. Back for Revenge, loop continues, and then if you continue this loop, if you do Back for Revive from Darkness from here, now you get to go all the way up to 10. So now you're at 10 memory. instead of just having 5. And now at 10 memory, if you have another werewolf in hand, you can just drop it and swing. So now you just have a lot of memory to work with. The Mastamon's also kind of one of those where you get down to the last security, and if you got like 5 memory, you go ahead, so let's say you swung Mastamon 1, both trash, you bring back Ginkaku promote, swing for game. So that's pretty much it. You can have some fun combos with it all. There was another combo that I was doing every so often. I had a Dracmon. So the Dracmon combo is like your Eismon loop combo. I took it out for the Elecmon. I did like the Dracmon loop. So the Dracmon loop, it's kind of silly, but like, where's my 1 revive? So the Dracmon loop is you end up having used revive. Let's say I used revive to pick. So either I used revive to pick up Eismon. Let's say I picked up Eismon and like a scatter, or an Eismon and a Minerva, right? So you, or just the Eismon in general. So I picked up Eismon, and then you go Dracmon. You get an option card that costs 1 to 3. So like if I had either 3 memory or 4 memory, so like 3 memory, I've pretty much done it where I've choked him at 1. So you go to 0, and then if I've already had Eismon here, use calling to pick up the Drac. You delete the Dracmon, but you pick up the Dracmon because he doesn't have an on deletion effect. So then you can keep on doing it all the time, where you just bring him back. So he's like my infinite calling from the darkness card, and you can just keep on going, and so you loop it. And I was looping the Eismon, so it was pretty cool and fun, because pretty much you just keep on trashing the Eismon. Then the next turn you'd swing him, or you digivolve him, or whatever the case, and then when you needed the calling, you'd play the Dracmon, get the calling back, and then use the calling on the Dracmon, or whatever else you needed to delete. So that's it. That's it for kind of some of the combos. For Cross Hearts, the real trick is you want to keep psychemon on the field, but they have like 1,020 ways to kill psychemon, which is okay. You pretty much go straight. You want to go straight into Minerva as fast as possible. So you want to have psychemon in the trash, which easiest way to get psychemon in the trash against Cross Hearts, digivolve him, push him on out, or just hard play him. And if you can, quick go into like into your Minerva, you don't need to care what your stack is. Just go as quick as possible into Minerva, especially if they let you go. If they let you go second, like this stack, right? Like if you go against them, the ideal way to go about this is pretty much you need at least psychemon. But if you can get an Eismon and a psychemon in trash, and then just go straight up your chain. You go straight up your chain, because this will cost you 0, 1, 3, and then another 3. Right? So that's 4. That's only 7. 7 to get into Minerva. Okay? So if you can go all the way up, like that. Sometimes I'll even play out a Cerberus hard. If it's a turn 1, right? If it's turn 1 that I go and I have Cerberus and a Minerva, especially if you have Cerberus and a WereWolf. So the best thing is to get this whole stack up, push it out, and then if you have a WereWolf, to go WereWolf, delete the whole stack so you can get all the drawings. And for cross hearts, mattering on how fast they started, right? So if they have, you know, let's say two tamers that are red and yellow, you might not want to swing. You can take the risk and swing, but you might not want to swing and just go straight into your Minerva. So pretty much the idea here is that you're not trying to loop as much against crossed hearts. If you can loop, great, but you don't want to do the loop as much. Pretty much when they played out a Digimon with Minerva, you go ahead and you get to play out your own Digimon. So for the first cross 4, as long as you have enough security, so as long as you have at least 2, or 1 or 2. If you at least have 2, you always play out the psychemon first. This makes it so that they can't... So they already get to cross, right? The Digi-Cross and the Digi-Evolution reduction happens before you get to play your effects. So you don't prevent that first one, but it just now interrupts them so they can't do it a second time without getting rid of your psychemon. So now they have to get rid of your psychemon, and so a lot of the times they'll play a Drulomon or whatever, the yellow Digimon. And when they delete it, if they delete it with that, you still get to play out another level 4. And a lot of times I'll play out an Eismon scatter mode so I can get some more swings in and some more cycle. Otherwise, you can play out the Blocker Devi. The Blocker Devi is really nice for stopping lethal. So once you're down to 0, you really need the Blocker Devi. You go ahead, block. You save yourself from lethal. It dies. If they play another one, you bring back Blocker Devi. So you keep on going with that. But if you're not getting down to, because they're already gonna have piercing, so you don't bring Blocker Devi unless they're threatening lethal, or you're running out of cards. So you get Psychemon. So, and then now they have to pay the full 7 cost, and it's gonna get back to your turn. And then, you know, you should be able to get some stuff in raising, and by that time, if they're not flooding the board, you should be able to start getting into your loop stuff pretty easily. And you can pretty much swing Minervamon with very little hesitation. Like, they don't really have too many things that can swing over Minervamon, and she's 11k and she has retaliation. So there's not really anything in security that's going to kill you besides for if they have a Sunrise Buster with a total of 4 tamers. So it's Minervamon can keep on swinging. You don't need a loop with her. You pretty much are using her to block your opponent out from playing for cross hearts. So I think that's going to take it for me for this video. I hope you guys liked it. I should try to make more Digimon content here in the future. And rate, subscribe, stick around, and see if I actually keep on making videos on a regular basis. I'll try to do it more often and show you guys the joy of Digimon TCG. And Pokemon Scarlet and Violet should come out, so maybe I'll try to start making some videos for those when it comes out.